Alright, so we're going to start outside picture. First we got to do is walk on the truck, we're going to check. Make sure that our lights and systems are correct. Alright, we're going to check on the left side of our engine. Alright, on the left side, the first thing we're going to check is our coolant reservoir. Make sure our coolant reservoir is properly mounted, secure, it's not leaking. I can tell by the sight glass that it's properly filled to the level that it needs to be. I'm also going to check my oil dipstick, make sure I'm going to pull it out, wipe it off, pull it back in, make sure it's between add and full. I'm going to check my coolant reservoir, my power steering reservoir. Properly mounted, secured, it's not leaking. I can tell that by looking through my sight glass that it's properly low to the right level. Alright, I'm going to check my steering column. Properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no excessive play. My steering gearbox, properly mounted, secured, no leaks. I'm going to check my front and rear spring mounts, my spring leads, make sure my spring leads are properly mounted, secured, no shift in my spring leads, secured with 2 U-bolts, 4 washers, 4 nuts. Shock absorber, properly mounted, secured, no leaks on my shock absorber. I got my pivot arm, my drag link, my steering knuckle, my tie rod, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, secure with cotter pin and castle nut. I got my airline. My airline is properly mounted, secured, no ABC, no leaks. My ABS line, properly mounted, secured, no excessive or exposed wires. I also have my hose to my power steering pump as well as my gearbox, properly mounted, secured, no ABC, no leaks. I have my braking system free of contaminants, okay, my brake liner, no less than 1/4 inch of padding, no grease. I have my tire, ICD, inflated to 100 PSI, C, condition worn evenly, D, my tread depth is no less than 4/32 of tread depth. I got my rim is properly mounted, secured, no illegal welds, no elongated holes. I got my lug nuts properly mounted, secured, no rust streaks indicating that they may be loose. I'm also going to be listening in my engine for leaks and looking for leaks, okay? On the side of my truck, I got my marker lights, reflective tape, if there's any reflective tape, make sure that they're properly mounted, secured, not cracked or broken, working properly, proper color. I also have my mirror bracket, properly mounted, secured, my mirror is not cracked or broken. I have my battery box properly mounted, secured, no cut or exposed wires, no corrosion. My def tank properly mounted, secured, no leaks, filled to the proper level. Fuel tank properly mounted, secured, no leaks, filled to the proper level. My fuel tank cap is on tight, secured with a chain and a rubber seal. Rubber seal is not dry rotted or missing. We're going to come to the back of my trailer, back to my tractor. I'm looking for my L-shaped reflective tape to make sure that it's properly mounted, secured, and is 50% visible. I'm going to check my 6 points of connection to my tractor and my trailer. Service line, emergency line, properly mounted, secured, not cracked or broken, not leaking. My electrical line, properly mounted, secured, no exposed wiring on my electrical line. I got my frame properly mounted, secured, no illegal welds on my frame. I'm going to go into my coupling system. I have my apron properly mounted, secured. I'm going to check my fifth wheel slide plate. My fifth wheel slide plate is properly greased. There's no gap between my apron and my fifth wheel slide plate. I have my release handle. My release handle's in a lock position with my safety latch. I also have my platform mounting bolts. My kingpin is straight. My locking jaw is locked around the shank of my kingpin. All parts are properly mounted, none are missing, and secured. As I come back, I'm going to be checking my cross members, making sure my cross members are properly mounted, secured, and none are missing. No illegal welds on my cross members. All right. Back of my tractor, I'm going to be checking my lights. I have my tail lights, my brake lights, my left and right turn signal, forward flashers, and reverse light, properly mounted, secured, working properly, proper color. I also check my landing gear. Landing gear is properly mounted, secured, no illegal welds on my landing gear. My feet is in the raised position, my handle's in the stow position. I also have proper distance between my landing gear and the back of my tractor for turning purposes. Also on my trailer, I'm looking at my reflective triangle, my reflective tape, making sure that it's at least 50% visible all the way down the tractor, all the way down the trailer. Okay? I've also checked my marker lights if I have clearance lights. I check my clearance lights as well, making sure that they're properly mounted, they're secured, they're working properly, proper color. We're going to come down to my sliding tandems. Sliding tandems are properly mounted, secured. There's no leak wells on my sliding tandems. My handles in the lock position as well as my pins in the lock position. We're going to come back down to the back of my trailer. To the back of my trailer, I'm going to be looking for my reflective tape, top, middle, and bottom, making sure that it's at least 50% visible. I'm also going to check my lights, make sure my lights, clearance lights, as well as my lights in the back of the trailer, working proper color, not cracked or broken. That's it, guys. That's it.
Send me that. Your hands on the